If you've got a blanket or a block that you want to sit up on, just to make your seat a little bit taller, it'll help open your hips up a little, give your knees and your low back some room. So sit up nice and tall and take your thighs and turn them in and back. So you're kind of moving the flesh of your butt back and out of the way. And then that allows you to sit up a little bit taller. So in your seat, you can rest your hands face down or face up, whatever is comfortable. And I'll just say, kind of general blanket statement, we've got a lot of different levels practicing today, so please make sure that you listen to your body and make any modifications that you need. If you need to put your knees down or come down onto forearms, if you need to take child's pose, if you just need to lay down, feel free to do that. That counts. You showed up, so that's good. So thank you guys so much for being here today. I really appreciate you just being willing to get on your mat and spend an hour with your breath and your body and just being more connected and getting more in tune with yourself. And I was thinking earlier about getting on my mat and all the different times I have gotten on my mat in my life. And I've been practicing a long time. So I've showed up to my mat in lots of different moods, happy, sad, frustrated, tired, energetic. I've showed up in all the different ways, I feel like. And I love that about yoga. You can show up however you are. And this practice is going to give you exactly what you need in that moment. And I think about all the different emotions that I've been having in the past few weeks with everything going on. And, from feeling sad, feeling frustrated, from feeling, content and grateful. I've kind of gone through this range of emotions the past few weeks, as I'm sure all of us have. And sometimes it's hard. Like, I don't even know what emotion I'm feeling in the moment. I know that, either something isn't quite right or, I just feel a little off. And every time I just stop and breathe and connect with my own inner self, I get a little bit more peace and I get a little bit more insight into those emotions. And getting on the mat just takes us a little bit deeper into that connection. So however you're feeling today, emotionally or physically, just be thankful for showing up and see what this practice has to offer for you in these moments. So sit up nice and tall, close your eyes, and take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And just noticing your breath. Notice if you're breathing through your nose or through your mouth. Not judging or changing anything necessarily, just notice. Notice what your energy level feels like. Notice what your body feels like. Notice if there's any pain, any tightness or stiffness. And feel free to adjust your seat. You don't have to sit with your legs crossed. Make sure you're comfortable. But I want you to be sitting up as tall as you can in the length of your spine. And we just notice these things, these different sensations, and we breathe with them. We breathe with kindness and with compassion towards ourselves. And as we start to move and breathe, we notice how some of these sensations start to change and shift. How as we breathe with the kindness, there becomes a little bit more space, a little bit more freedom in our physical bodies, in our hearts and in our minds. And with your next breath in, reach your arms out and up overhead. Really stretch up nice and long through the waist, the neck, the fingertips, and bring your hands together and down to your heart as you exhale. And may we each just set an intention for ourselves today to show up, however it is we're feeling, and breathe. Breathe with kindness. Breathe with compassion for yourself. The more we learn to do that, the more we learn to love ourselves and be with ourselves, the better we are at being with other people, with having patience, with having kindness, with showing love. Take a full breath in. And exhale, bow your head. Lower your hands and softly blink your eyes open. And go ahead and come to hands and knees. So if you're on a hard surface, you might want to pad your knees with your blanket or towel. And your hands should be about shoulder distance apart and right underneath your shoulders. Press the finger pads down and knees right under your hips, toes curled or tops of the feet down. And close your eyes and start to move from your heart, from that heart center, lowering your heart towards the floor, keeping your arms straight. Lift your tail, lift your chin. That's your inhale. As you exhale, start to move the back of your heart towards the sky and round, letting your chin tuck, your tail tuck a little. That's your exhale. And then keep moving, inhaling as you arch, lifting tail and chin, and exhaling as you round, upper back stretching towards the sky. And as you move, just finding a nice rhythm. Moving with your breath. And keeping in mind your intention of staying present, staying focused in the moment. And noticing the different sensations. Maybe you start to move a little bit more quickly as you start to warm up. Notice the space between each vertebrae lengthening from the top of the head to the tail. And one more full breath in. And exhale, round. Come back to a neutral spine and bring your knees a little bit wider and come up onto your fingertips if you can and start to move your hips in circles. Stay with the rhythm of your breath. Eyes can still be closed, just helping us connect a little bit more with what's touching the earth. More connected with our breath and our energy. Go in the opposite direction with your hips. Notice the breath getting a little slower, a little deeper. Allow the hips to move back to your heels into child's pose. So not forcing your knees or your hips into anything painful. You can be up on fingertips or lower your arms to the floor as your head and heart come towards the earth. Take a full breath in and exhale. And again, just recommitting to that intention of being present, of being aware, not judging, but breathing and moving with kindness. And coming back up through hands and knees, and bring your knees back underneath your hips. Curl your toes under and start to lift your knees up off the floor and come into downward facing dog. And in your downward facing dog, look at your hands, make sure they're shoulder distance apart. Press your index finger down. And then look back at your feet and make sure they are no wider than your inner hips. So a fist could fit right between your big toes. And bend your knees and lift your butt high in the air. Lift your armpits a little bit forward so you're stretching the armpits and the hips away from each other. Let the heels lower. Take a full breath in and exhale. Walking your hands slowly back to your feet, towards the back of your mat. And at the back of your mat, bend your knees and fingertips on the floor. So bend your knees as much as you need to do that. And press your toes down and start to pull the four corners of each foot up. So you're creating arches, inner and outer in the feet, and start to move your legs a little straighter. Some of you might need to use your blocks or hands to the shins. Lifting your sits bones up in the air, your tail up. Lift halfway with your torso, parallel to the floor. So your eyes are down. That's your inhale. As you exhale, bow forward. Again, we're moving with kindness, with patience. Inhale, halfway, and exhale, bow. No judgment. Inhale, halfway, and exhale, bow. Walking your hands back forward into downward facing dog. And lifting your right leg up and back. Lift it up as high as you can, stretching through the right heel. Lift your left shoulder a little bit forward, tone the belly, and notice your breath here. Lower your right leg down and lift your left leg up and back. Stretch through the left heel, lift your right shoulder slightly. Pull the belly in. Nice, steady inhale and exhale. Lowering your left leg down next to the right and shift forward into plank. So shoulders come right over the wrists and your butt's just about as high as your upper back. Isometrically pulling the heels of your hands towards your feet. So they're not moving. You're just trying to create that energy of trying to drag back. And take a full breath in. As you exhale, knees up or down, bend your elbows lower all the way down onto your tummy. And come up onto forearms, elbows right under your shoulders. So palms are down and legs are together, and press the tops of your feet. So you feel the thighs engaged in the butt, and then just lift your chest, ribs, and belly button. So you get that first layer of awareness and engagement in the core, and keep pulling that up. Maybe that's enough. Maybe you want to add on and lift your hips and thighs up as well. So knees are still down. Press the inner edge of the wrist. Nice, slow, steady breath in. Just noticing what you're feeling. Not judging, but breathing with kindness. If you want to add on, curl your toes, lift your knees. Pull back with the elbows. Pull your toes forward isometrically to create a little bit more awareness and engagement. And lowering your knees, thighs, hips, and belly all the way down. Bring your hands a bit wider than your shoulders. Palms down, press the feet, and inhale, lifting your chest, ribs, and belly, and lower down. So you don't have to lift too high. You're really stretching your heart forward. Keep looking down. Press the feet, inhale, cobra, and exhale, lower. Your hips stay on the floor. Elbows are bent and pulling back. Inhale, and exhale. Good. Coming back to forearms. Elbows shoulder distance, palms pressed down, lifting your chest, ribs, and belly button, pulling the belly button towards the spine, and then adding on hips and thighs. So you might feel a little shaking. That means you're doing it right. Breathe. Maybe lift your knees up to curl the toes. If you lifted your knees, maybe lift your right toes off the floor just a little. Breathing. And switch, lift the left. And lower the left, lower your thighs, hips, belly, all the way down. Bring your hands for cobra. Stretch your heart forward. Inhale, press the feet, and lower down. And inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Good. Come through hands and knees or plank and downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up, and this time bend your right knee and open the hip to the right. Lift your left shoulder a little bit, tone the belly. Full breath in. And exhale, lower the right leg down. Lifting the left leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Lift your right shoulder a little. Full breath in. And exhale, lower the left leg down. Walking your feet forward to the front of your mat. So again, you might need your blocks. You might need to bend your knees a lot. Everybody bend your knees just to get the feet in good alignment right underneath the hips, pressing the toes, creating arches, and then lifting your sits bones in the air to work the legs straighter. Inhale halfway, and exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, and exhale, fold. Bending your knees and step your right foot back. So nice long lunge and quarter turn to your right. So you're in wide leg forward fold and knees are bent. So make sure your toes are straight ahead, butt is back, and go a little side to side with the hips. Slow breath. So move with kindness, paying attention to all the sensations that you're feeling. And then coming back to center in this wide leg, start to lift your butt up and work your legs straight or head and heart towards the floor. Pressing your toes down, creating arches with the feet. So feel the energy come up the legs. Inhale and lift belly and chest parallel to the floor and bow forward. Inhale and lift. And exhale, bow. Good. Quarter turn back to the front of your mat through left lunge and step your right foot forward next to the left. Inhaling and exhaling. Bend your knees, hands to hips or thighs, shoulders back, and come all the way up to stand, reaching your arms up. Full breath in and hands to heart center. Good. Notice your feet. So look down at your feet and make sure that they are parallel. Again, no wider than inner hips, and bend your knees a little and try to make arches with your feet. Even if you're flat-footed, you want to pull the four corners up so you feel the leg muscles engage and lift. Working the legs straighter but not locked. Inhale and reach your arms up. Hold your left wrist with your right hand and side bend to your right. Push your hips to your left. And then back to center and holding your right wrist, side bend over to your left. Hips go to your right. Full breath in and exhale and back to center, and take your arms out and behind you, interlace. So if you have a strap, you can use it. If you have tight shoulders, it's good. You can just take the strap about as wide as your hips and lift the head of the arm bones up, the collarbones, widen them apart. So you're trying to widen the shoulders apart from each other. Pull the elbows in towards each other into your back body, and then let the arms work a little straighter. From here, turn your head to your right. Pull back on your left shoulder a little. Full breath in and exhale. And turning your head back to center, look over your left shoulder. Move that right shoulder back a little. Full breath in and exhale. And turning back to center. Release your hands and standing on your right leg. Arms out for balance, and keep your eyes down and focused on something that's not moving. Lift your left knee up. So left thigh is parallel to the floor. Be okay to wobble, and be okay to bend your right knee so you have a little bit more ease with wobbling. You're not so rigid, so tight. Lower the left foot down, and left knee stays a little bent as you lift the right knee, thigh parallel to the floor. Stand up as tall as you can, again, not rigid. Full breath in and exhale, and lowering down. So no judgment with our balance. If it's not something you practice every day, it's going to be tough. And if you're standing on carpet or something uneven outside, even harder. So again, be okay to move and wobble. Make sure you're breathing and keep your eyes focused on one thing. Lifting your left knee again. This time cross your left ankle over your right thigh and start to sit your hips back like you're sitting in a chair. Flex your left toes. Arms can be out wide, or you could hold your foot in your knee, or some of you might want to go lower and touch the floor with your fingertips. Full breath. As you come up to stand, lifting that left knee, and hold the outside of the left knee with your right hand. Push hand and knee into each other and turn your upper body to your left. Left arm reaches behind. Full breath in and exhale. And as you come back to center, touch down if you need, take the left leg straight back, warrior three. So that left leg is parallel to the floor, your right knee a little bent. Lift your belly. And coming back up, lifting the left knee and lower down gracefully. Good, shake it out. Standing left and lifting your right, crossing your right ankle over the left thigh. Arms out for balance, start to sit back. Your hips move back, that left knee bends. Flex the toes of the right foot. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Breathe with kindness. Be okay to wobble. Be okay to have to hold on to something or go lower and touch the floor. Coming all the way up to stand, lifting your right knee, and hold the outside of the knee with your left hand. Turn your upper body open to your right, stretching your right arm back if you can. Maybe look over the right shoulder. Full breath in, and exhale, and back to center, and taking the right leg straight back, warrior three. So that right thigh is parallel to the floor, leg is as straight as you can get, and stretch your arms wide or out in front of you. And coming back up, lifting your knee and lowering that foot. Good. Shake your legs out and standing back at the front of your mat. Inhale and reach your arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. Stepping your left foot all the way back. Nice long lunge. So get that right thigh parallel to the floor, right knee right over the right ankle. You might need blocks here. Full breath. And lower the left knee to the floor. So pat it if you need, and then stretch your arms up overhead. So shoulders are right over your hips. Pull the belly in and put weight in that right foot and isometrically pulling back with the ball of the right foot. Inhale. As you exhale, twist your upper body to your right. Arms can extend out wide, and then right hand down towards the left thigh. Reach your left arm up. Full breath in. Exhale. And taking your left hand down to the floor a little wider, and turn your heart open to your right. Stack your shoulders. Take the right arm up. Pull your right foot and left knee towards each other to create energy and engagement in the thighs and the hips. Stretch your right arm over your ear. And right hand down inside the right foot. So if you can, move your left knee back a little bit. Keep the right knee directly over the right ankle, and then lift your butt up a little bit. And walk your hands forward and get your chest low inside that right inner thigh. So some of you might be up on fingertips. Some of you can come down to forearms, or maybe use your elbows, your forearms on the blocks. Full breath in and out. Option to lift your left knee if you'd like. Back knee. Back leg will get straighter. Full breath. And lowering that left knee. If it's lifted, come up to straighter arms. Hands on either side of the right foot. Use your blocks for longer arms, and then start to move your right leg straighter. Hips shift back. So some of you can go further with the right foot forward and left knee back, but make sure you're pulling the right hip back and dragging isometrically with that right heel back. As you stick your butt back, lower your chest, not just your shoulders and your chin. Full breath in and exhale. Just noticing the sensations. And again, not judging, having kindness, having patience with yourself. Bending your right knee 90 degrees, foot on the floor. Lift your left knee. Hands or blocks come forward as you lift the left leg in the air. And then bend your right knee a little bit and try to straighten the right leg by lifting your right butt in the air. Left leg gets higher. Inhale and exhale. Lowering your left foot next to the right. Step your right foot all the way back. So you're in a nice long lunge. So left knee directly over left ankle. Back leg straight. Chest moving forward, tail moving back. Lower your right knee to the floor and stretch your arms up overhead. Again, shoulders are over your hips. Let the shoulders soften down your back a little. Lift your chest, your gaze up. Full breath in. As you exhale, twisting to your left. Arms can be outstretched wide. Left hand to the right thigh and reaching your right arm up. Lift your belly a little, your chest, your gaze. And taking your right hand down to the floor a little wider, lean into it, roll that right shoulder back. And as you turn your heart open to the left, stack the shoulders and reaching that left arm towards the sky. Reach over your ear with your left arm. Feel the breath into the rib cage, space between each rib on that left waist. And then left hand down inside your left foot. So if you can, move your right knee back a little. And we're not sinking the hips to the floor. I want you to lift your butt up and then lower your chest inside the left inner thigh. Walk your hands forward to get lower. Maybe come to forearms. Try to lower your chest and pull the shoulder blades together on your back. Again, option to lift the back knee up. And then lowering your back knee, if it's lifted, come up to straighter arms, hands on either side. So move your right knee back or your left foot forward as you need, working the left leg straighter. And create energy here. Create an engagement and awareness in the moment by pulling back on that left heel and hip, then lowering your chest. Shoulder blades on your back. Eyes are looking pretty much straight down at the floor. And then go ahead and bend your left knee 90 degrees, lift your right knee, hands come forward and lift the right leg up. Now bend your left knee. So we want to get the energy up the leg by lifting the left butt up. Inhale, belly and chest. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lift. And exhale, bow. Lowering your right foot next to the left. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bring your feet a little wider, turn your toes out, and bend your knees, elbows to the thighs. So you might stay here, any knee or hip issues. If you want to and can go lower with your squat, taking your butt towards the floor, do that. You might need to reach your arms out for balance, or your hands can come to your heart. Full breath in and exhale. And go ahead and have a seat. And if you have a block, grab it. If you don't, you can use whatever you're using for a block probably. And bring that block between your upper inner thighs and lay all the way onto your back. So on your back, the back of your head is on the floor and your tail, your sacrum is on the floor. Knees are bent and thighs are straight up and down perpendicular to the floor. Shins are parallel to the floor. Flex your toes. And then bring your hands right on the front of your thighs. And push your hands and thighs into each other. As you press, you should feel this connection of the core, the low belly pulling towards the floor. Keep your shoulders back. Maybe close your eyes. And really tune into your breath. Keep pressing hands and thighs. So you're not 100% flattening the back to the floor. It's about 95% towards the floor. The low back has about a 5% curve away. And as you're engaging and breathing, breathe with kindness. Breathe knowing that you are creating strength with each breath. You're creating space with each breath. And then go ahead and bring your hands right by your hips. So I'll give you two options here. Actually three. The third one is to go use the bathroom and don't do abs. But the first two is keep the block between your thighs and lower and lift your heels. Tap the floor. Breathing with each movement. If that's too much on your low back, take the block out and hands are still by your hips or under your sacrum and lower right heel, center, and then left heel and center. So you're just alternating right and left. If you're holding the block, doing both heels at the same time, make sure you're not arching your low back. That belly needs to stay pulling towards the floor, staying really strong and engaged. And notice your breath. Make sure you're not holding your breath, holding your energy. Good. One more each side, right and left. Or if you're doing both heels, one more up and down. Good. Coming back to center, take the block out if you've got it. Bring your feet together and your knees wide. Option one, feet stay on the floor together and knees wide. Option two, the feet are lifted and the knees are wide. Hands come behind your head interlaced. And collarbones stay wide, elbows stay wide. So imagine a string on the center of your heart. Take a full breath in, and as you exhale, that string is lifting your head and heart up together. Maybe a little lift of the tail. Inhale back, exhale lift. Inhale back, exhale lift. Inhale back and lift. Inhale back and lift. Move at your own pace with your own breath. Lift. Inhale, lift, inhale, lift, inhale. Do 2 more. Elbows stay wide. And back to center. Good. Bring your knees back together and bent 90 degrees. So listen here, your right hand and your left thigh are going to push into each other. So right hand, left thigh push. So you should feel some engagement there. Take your right leg up straight towards the sky and take your left arm straight up towards the sky. So just to review, right hand, left thigh push into each other. Left arm and right leg are straight up. You might stay here, that might be enough. Full breath in. As you exhale, extend the left arm and right leg out, hovering just above the floor, and coming back up to center as you inhale. So exhale, extend out, inhale back. Exhale, inhale to center. 2 more. Exhale, and inhale. Move with kindness, move with that strength. Back to center. Good. Switch sides. So bend your right knee. Left hand and right thigh push into each other. Left leg goes up straight. Right arm goes up straight. So we're moving the right arm and left leg now, pushing the left hand and right thigh. Full breath in. Exhale, extend out. Keep that low belly pulled in. You're not arching. Exhale back. Good. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale back. Inhale, center. Exhale, inhale, center, and 1 more, and center. Good. Bend your knees and feet on the floor, and whatever you were using for a block, grab it and place it between your upper inner thighs. It's really just to keep your knees from collapsing in or falling out to the sides. Feet go right underneath your knees on the floor, and press your feet down. Arms are by your sides, palms down. As you inhale, lifting your chest, your hips, and your arms up and overhead. So a little bridge pose with the arms, and as you exhale, lower everything back down. So make sure you're pressing your feet, squeezing the butt. Inhale, lift. Keep your chin out, up. Don't turn your head to the side. Lower down. Finding space, lifting up. And lower down. And 1 more time, lifting. And lower. Good. Set that block to the side. You can roll to your side and make your way into downward facing dog, or if you'd like, rock front to back the length of your spine a few times. Some of you can rock and roll all the way up to a forward fold without using your hands, and then make your way into downward facing dog. Full breath in and out. Lift your armpits a little, space across your upper back, lift your tail, and let your heels soften towards the floor. Coming forward into plank. And your choice, knees up or down, bend your elbows lower all the way down. Tops of the feet down, and inhale, heart lifts. And back through, hands and knees, plank, and downward facing dog. Full breath in. And exhale. And lifting your right leg up and bringing your right knee towards your nose, and then step that right foot forward between your hands. So you're in a nice long lunge. If your foot didn't make it all the way, hand behind the right calf and help it step through. So bend your back knee a little, lift your fingertips, draw your shoulder blades onto your back. So your torso is right over that right thigh. Get your hips lower. And then reaching your arms forward like you're stretching to the front of your mat. Tail reaches back. Take a full breath in here. As you exhale, sweep your arms back towards the back of your mat. Your heart's still forward. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale all the way up. Arms up overhead. Bend your back knee a little bit. Get the hips a little lower. Right thigh parallel. And then work your left leg straighter. Full breath in. As you exhale, twist your upper body to your right. Right hand down and left arm reaches up. If this is too much, lower your back knee to the floor. Totally fine. Full breath here. And as you come back to center, reach arms up and open warrior two. So you're making sure your feet are nice and wide apart from each other, and front heel would intersect back arch if they were touching. Bend your front knee 90 degrees, turn your hips in a little bit towards the front of your mat, and open your left shoulder chest to the left side of your mat. Full breath in and exhale. Left hand lowers towards the left thigh, right arm reaches up. Now you're hugging your feet towards each other here, lifting your belly, lifting your gaze, and then start to move your right leg straighter. Turn your hips more forward to the front of your mat and re-bend your right knee 90 degrees. Bring your right elbow to your right thigh or go lower. Hand can go to the floor or block, and then extend your left arm over your ear. Turn your heart open, your gaze open. Squeeze your feet in, full breath in. Exhale. And coming back through warrior two. Full breath in and exhale. And then crescent lunge. So back heel lifts up, hips and heart are back square to the front of your mat. Full breath in. As you exhale, hands to the floor and lift your left leg in the air. Get your right leg straighter. Full breath here. And exhale. Step your left leg all the way back. And three-legged dog, right leg lifted. Bend your knee and open your hip. Lowering that right leg and lifting your left leg. Full breath. Bring your knee towards your nose and step that foot all the way through. Help it through. Again, lower your back knee if you need. And as you come up with your torso just over that left thigh, shoulder blades on your back, stretch your arms forward, palms down, like you're pressing an imaginary stack of blocks. Full breath in. Exhale, sweep your arms back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And inhale all the way up. Arms overhead, shoulders over your hips. Bend your back knee a little, pull the belly in, then work the back leg straighter. Full breath here. Twisting open to your left, upper body, left hand down, right arm up. Keep bending the front knee, lifting your belly and your gaze. And then back through center, arms up. And open warrior two, back heel pivots to the floor. So your left toes are forward, your right toes are towards the right edge of your mat. Front knee is bent 90 degrees. Turn your hips in a little, your heart open to your right a little. Stretch the arms. Full breath. Lowering your right hand and lifting the left arm up. Keep bending the front knee. And then straightening that left leg. Pull back on the hip. Turn your hips more forward again and re-bend the left knee. Squeeze your feet in. Bring your left elbow to the thigh. Right arm over your ear. Your left hand can go lower if that is available for you. Squeeze your feet in, lift your belly, turn your heart open, your gaze open. Back through warrior two. Full breath in and exhale. Crescent lunge. So back heel lifts up, heart and hips towards the front of your mat. Inhaling. And exhaling, hands to the floor and lifting the right leg in the air. Get the left leg straighter. Inhale and exhale. Good. Stepping that right foot all the way back. Left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. And lowering your left foot. Good. Lower both knees to the floor and grab your blanket or your towel and roll it up. Roll it up into a nice tight roll, and depending on the thickness of your blanket or your towel, you might need to double up or make it a little thinner. So option 1 is to stand on the blanket with the balls of your feet. So you would stand with the feet about inner hip distance apart, heels are on the floor, and you bend your knees and come forward, hands to the floor, or use your block and work the legs straighter to feel the stretch in the backs of the legs. Some of you like more torture and would like to have the blanket up behind your knees for calf smash. So the blanket comes up as close behind your knee pit as you can. Tops of the feet are on the floor and you sit your weight back. So it's pretty uncomfortable on your calves if you're doing it correctly, but no pain in your knees. So if your knees bug you, do the standing option. If you're calf smashing, you can wiggle side to side, feeling the edges of the calves. Bring your shoulders back. Make sure there's space across the collarbones, that you're not hunched forward. You want to keep the space, keep the breath expanding and contracting. And maybe close your eyes. And as you breathe, just noticing the sensations here. Pull the belly in, make sure your waist is nice and long. Maybe wiggling the blanket back a little bit towards your feet, just to change the sensations. It just changes the more you work the blanket back towards your heels. Depends on where you're tight. And then whichever one you're in, we'll go ahead and make our way into downward facing dog. So set your blanket to the side and stretch the backs of your legs. So you're lifting your butt up as high as you possibly can. Lift your elbows, lift your armpits up and away from your hips, and let the thighs move back. Let the heels lower. Full breath in and out. Good. Go ahead and walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. And inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Stepping your right foot back and quarter turn to your right again. So wide legs, and bend your knees, and this time bring your hands to your hips, shoulders back, and come all the way up to stand. So your legs are wide, and with your inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, turn your heels in and squat. Hands to your heart, knees are bent. And so your knees are ideally going in the direction of your toes, so adjust closer or wider as you need. Tail down, heart is lifted. Inhale and reach your arms up, straight legs, and squat again. Maybe try to go a little lower, try to make more space across your chest. And see if you can lift your left heel off the floor. And lower the left heel and lift the right. And lower the right and come all the way up. Straight legs, reaching overhead, and exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Maybe lift both heels. Maybe practice just one at a time. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure your eyes are steady. Heels down and come up to straighter arms. Full breath in. As you exhale, open warrior two to the back of your mat. So your right toes are going to turn out open. Your left toes are towards the right side of your mat, and bend your right knee 90 degrees. Turn your hips towards that right knee a little, heart open to the left. Full breath in. Exhale. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Left hand down, right arm up, and start to move your right leg straighter. And now moving into triangle, so reaching your right hand forward and down. And if you don't have your block, you can hold mid-shin and turn your heart open. Stacking the shoulders, reach the left arm straight up. So we're not locking the knees here. Have a little slight bend and pull the feet towards each other so you feel that energy come up your legs, your belly, space across your heart. Full breath in and exhale. And coming back through warrior two, bending that right knee. Inhale to that wide-legged position, toes turn, reach up, and exhale, open warrior two now to the front of your mat. Left knee bends 90 degrees. So left toes are straight ahead, your right toes are towards the right side of your mat. Turn the hips in a little, heart to the right a little, right hand down, left arm up, look up, squeeze the feet in and start to move your left leg straighter. Here, hinging forward, hand comes down to the floor, shin or block, turning your heart open, reaching the right fingertips up. Maybe look up. Again, unlock the knees. We don't want to be rigid. We have to be able to move. We have to be able to engage the muscles and adjust. Coming back through warrior two, bend the left knee. And inhaling to the wide legs, toes forward. As you exhale, fold forward to center. And notice, maybe there's a little bit more space than when we first started class. Inhale halfway, and exhale, fold. Either way, we're breathing with kindness. We're creating space with each breath, not just in our physical body, but in our heart and in our mind, for whatever it is we're feeling. Inhale, and exhale. Good. Quarter turn back to the front of your mat through left lunge and step your right foot forward. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Bending your knees, hands to your hips or thighs, shoulders back, and come all the way up to stand, reaching your arms up and hands to your heart. So you might want to make sure that you have your blocks just handy right in front of you for a little extra length in your arms if you need. So we're going to start by standing on your left leg and bend your right knee. So holding your right foot for the thigh stretch here. If you can't grab your foot, then use the strap to do that. And again, we're not locking the standing left leg. It's a little bent, but getting straighter. Lengthen the right knee down, pull your belly in, heart open, and reaching your left arm forward or up, your choice. And start to kick that right foot and right hand into each other. Keep kicking the foot further away from your butt. Full breath. As you come back up, release the foot, lift the knee, and come into warrior three again. So now your right leg is going to stretch all the way back. Is that your right leg or your left leg? It's your right leg, okay. And then bring your left hand down to your block and your right hand to your heart as you turn open to your right with your heart and your hip and reach that right arm up. Maybe look up. Not locking the left knee. Full breath in. Exhale. And right hand back down to floor block. Right leg next to the left and fold forward. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bend your knees, hands to your thighs. Come all the way up, stretching your arms up. And hands to heart center. So now standing on your right leg and bend your left knee for the thigh stretch. Unlocking your right knee, but strong. Rooted into that foot, pulling the energy up. Lengthen your left knee down. Heart open. Right arm forward or up. And start to kick the left foot back. Pull your belly in. Move slowly. As you come back up, let go of your foot, lift your knee, and then warrior three. Left leg is going to go straight back, reaching through the heel, heart forward, arms can come out wide or forward or back. And then left hand to your heart, right hand down to the floor block, and start to turn your left hip and thigh open to the left. Shoulder opens, heart opens. Maybe reach the left arm up. Maybe look up. Full breath in and exhale. Left hand down and left leg next to the right. Inhale and exhale. Good. Step back to downward facing dog. And forward into plank. Shoulders right over your hips. Shoulders right over your wrists, and lowering your hips all the way down onto your belly. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower 2 more. Really stretch your heart forward. Press your feet. Pull your belly in. Elbows in and back. And lower down. And inhale. And exhale. Good. Press through hands and knees and come back into child's pose. So knees wide, hips go back to your heels, and let your head and heart soften towards the floor. Again, up on fingertips or let your arms lower. And just reconnect with your breath. Reconnect with that intention of being present with whatever you're feeling, and just scan your body, your mind, your heart. And notice to see if things have changed, if anything has shifted, if there's more space, if there's a little bit more kindness with each breath. And go ahead, make your way into downward facing dog. Lifting your armpits up, hips away from your armpits, lifting your hips up and heels down. Full breath. And lowering your knees, and go ahead and have a seat. So sitting up on your blanket or block as you need for a little bit more space in the hips and the low back. And take your right leg out straight and bend your left knee and cross your left foot over the right thigh. So here in the seat, move the flesh of your butt back and out of the way so you're not rounded sitting on your tail. I want your tail behind you. That's why sitting on the blanket, the edge of the blanket helps a little. Left foot on the floor and sit up tall, holding that left shin or knee with your right hand, twisting your upper body to the left. Left hand will come right behind you, arm as straight as possible. Pull back with the right toes and push your left thigh forward. Turn your heart open more to your left and take a couple of deep breaths here. I always find that after being on my mat, my perspective changes a little bit. I have a little bit more clarity into how I'm feeling and what I'm seeing. Turning back to center and switching legs. Left leg straight, and bend your right knee, cross the right foot over. Again, adjust the flesh of your butt back as you need, sitting tall. Holding the right leg with your left hand, turn your upper body to the right. Right hand right behind, arms straight, lifting your chest. Now pull back with the with the left foot and push your right thigh forward. It'll just stabilize the lower half of your body and then help you twist a little bit more to your right. Full breath in. And exhale. And turning back to center, and uncross your legs. And bring your feet a little bit wider and knees bent. So wider than your mat or wider than your hips. Heels on the floor, lift the toes, and take your hands and again, move the flesh of your butt back. So your pelvic floor is tilting towards the floor a little bit more, and your tail is behind you. Hands come right inside your inner thighs, and try to keep your spine as long as you can, not rounding or slouching at all. If you had a string right on the center of your chest, that's what's moving forward towards the floor. And walk your hands forward, and you might hold the edges of your mat if you're a long ways on your mat. Some of you can start to take your legs out a little straighter. Some of you need to keep your legs bent just to keep from tucking the tail if you have tight hamstrings or low back. So make sure there's no pain in the low back. You might feel some stretch in the backs of the legs. Pull the toes back, lower your chest as much as you can towards the floor, and breathe. And slowly walk your hands back in, your shoulders back over your hips. Hold inside the thighs with your knees. Pull the feet in. And go ahead and we'll lay on the back. If you have a block, grab it, or whatever you're using for a block, or you can also use your blanket or a pillow. So on your back, Go ahead and just hug your knees wide towards your shoulders. And maybe rock a little side to side across the sacrum. And as you come back to center, lower your left foot to the floor and take your right leg up straight in the air and hold, interlace your hands behind your right thigh. If you want to use the strap on your foot, you're welcome to. Your hands are trying to pull the leg towards your face, but your leg is trying to push away and get straighter. Keep your right butt down and extend your left leg out on the floor. If you can and want to hold higher up the leg with your arms, you can. Just keep your shoulders and head back. Keep pushing the thigh forward, but your arms are trying to pull that leg towards the back of your mat. Take a full breath in and exhale. And releasing your hands or your strap and lengthen that right leg out next to the left. And then bending both knees and left leg goes straight up. Hands interlace behind the thigh or use the strap or hold higher up, your choice. Extend the right leg out straight on the floor. Really push the left thigh away from your face as you pull the leg closer. Full breath in. And exhale. Releasing your hands or strap and lengthen that left leg out next to the right. Good. Bending both knees, feet on the floor, and grab your blanket or your block. If you have the block, I prefer that you use that. You're going to lift your hips up and slide the block right underneath your butt. So it's right at the sacrum, right across the butt crack. It's not in your low back at all. If you're uncomfortable in your low back at all, you probably need to move the block towards your feet. And again, you can use a pillow or a blanket here. It's just not going to be, it's going to be squishier. So be mindful of that. Here, you can keep your feet on the floor, knees bent, or you can pull your knees in and take your legs up straight in the air. If you've got a wall, you'd rather put your legs up the wall, you're welcome to do that with or without something under your butt. So legs up straight, if that works for you. Shoulders back, eyes closed, and just notice your breath here. Notice your body. Just giving your nervous system a chance to slow down, rest, decompress. Letting the flow of your blood, the circulation, change directions here. With your legs up over your heart. Allowing the arteries to do a little bit more work and the veins to have some rest as they just let the blood run back to the heart and lungs with gravity. Notice your breath. See if it's slowing down again. Notice its rhythm. Notice its rhythm with kindness. Go ahead and bend your knees and lower your feet to the floor. If you want to stay up like that, you're welcome to. Hips up and slide the block out from underneath. And once again, hug your knees wide towards your shoulders, a little side to side. And then lowering your feet to the floor so your knees are bent and a little bit wider than your hips. Bring your arms out to a T and take your knees over to your right and look over your left shoulder. Move the back of your head towards your right shoulder. So you're just aligning the head over the spine a little bit better. Full breath in and exhale. And back to center with your knees and over to the left, Look over your right shoulder. Now move the back of your head towards your left shoulder a little. And bringing your knees back to center. And let your legs slide out straight on the floor one at a time. Letting your toes fall open to the sides. And roll each shoulder back so there's space across your heart. And arms are by your sides or maybe a little wider. Palms face up, open to receive the blessings of this practice. And as important as moving and breathing our bodies is, so is finding stillness, resting, meditating. Again, letting your breath just find its own natural rhythm. Letting your body be as still as possible. Just relaxing, releasing your muscles into the earth. Very slowly start to deepen your breath. And wiggle your toes and your fingers. And stretching your arms up and overhead, reaching out nice and long. Point and flex your toes. And then bending your knees one at a time. And rolling over to either side, and just pause on your side for a moment with the breath. And using your arms and pressing yourself up to a nice seat. Again, you can sit on your blanket or block as you need. Turn your thighs in and back to give yourself a little more space in the hips. The low back, one hand on your heart and the other fingertips on the floor beside you. And close your eyes and just notice your seat, notice your breath, notice your energy, your thoughts. May the blessings of this practice continue to fill each of us and help us to connect to our own being, to pay attention to what we're feeling, and to have a kindness, a compassion towards ourselves, whatever it is, showing up. And when we can do that for ourselves, it's so much easier to show up for everyone else with that same amount of awareness, sensitivity, and kindness. Bring your hands together at heart center. And no matter where we are, this practice, our breath, our energy connects each of us. Take a full breath in together. Exhale and bow your head. And may the longtime sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within guide your way on. Sat Nam, from my heart to each of yours, always with love and gratitude. Namaste. Thank you guys all so much for showing up. Hey, it's me again. If you enjoyed this practice, please like, share, and subscribe. And consider supporting me by making a donation via Venmo or PayPal, or even going one step further and joining my ever-growing Patreon community, where you can have access to exclusive content like workshops, live stream classes, and more full-length practices before I release them to the public. Remember, it's support like yours that allows me to continue providing content to the yoga community. Also, I'd love to hear from you, so drop me a line in the comments section and look below for all details and links. Thanks so much.